Well, I'm Alex. My pronouns are she, they.
Hi, Alex. I'm Brittan, and my pronouns are he, him.
Nice. Very cute.
Thank you.
My name's Quintin Peacock. Pronouns are he, him, his.
And I'm Sady Alvarado-Fischer, and my pronouns are she, her.
My name is Mia, and my pronouns are she, her.
My name is Cody, and my pronouns are he, him, his.
Wow, where did I first find my voice? I would say, I think I always had it. From the time I was a little kid, I got in trouble quite a bit for having a voice and speaking up. And but I think somewhere down the line, right, like at least the way I was raised, right, it was your parents say something, you follow what they say, right, and so there more and more things got stricter and stricter, and so I think I almost like lost it, or like it was somewhere in there, and then it came back out.
Honestly, I don't know if I have yet. I think I'm still working on it. But in regards specifically to like LGBT activism, I think that I found my voice not seeing myself represented a lot and feeling like somebody had to speak.
I'm not just a woman, I'm a queer person, and that makes me really happy. And Cody was like the first one to actually use my they them pronouns, and it was, oh my god, it like had like this moment in my heart, and I'm like, oh.
I was my first few years in college, and I was really fortunate to have a group of really awesome friends who were out or allies themselves, and they did a lot of organizing with local communities to raise awareness on LGBTQ issues and other issues pertaining to addressing racism and sexism and homophobia, and getting to know those folks as people and as activists was really important for me. It allowed me to see that like young people can have a voice, they can say stuff, they can have opinions, and most importantly, they can affect change. And that was really important for me to see that modeled, and then to also like boost my belief that like, oh, I can do something and like it will matter, someone will listen. Or we'll force them to listen, which is also one of the fun parts of activism.
Yeah, I think somebody telling you to shut up almost brings out like the spite in you. Be like, well, now I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get, if you're telling me to be quiet, I'm actually gonna get louder,
Right.
because this is a really important issue to talk about.
It gives me goosebumps. His name was Tony McDade. So at this time, I don't even think that I knew that there was a George Floyd march going on this day, same time. But my organization, we did a march for Tony McDade at MLK. And we decided to march to Liberty Pole. And when we got to Liberty Pole, there were thousands and thousands of folks outside. And being a community organizer in that moment, everyone had the ability to share space. And as a Black trans mass person, I was able to stand in front of this space. And as we called out George Floyd's name, we were able to call out Tony McDade's name and educate people that Tony McDade lost his life too. And like I said, I just was having this conversation. I just seen the pictures and just standing there speaking to a crowd of thousands of folks who probably never cared about trans folks or queer folks, but to deem that everyone in that space was respected at that moment, I just always knew that I was doing the right thing. And I feel like that's where my queer joy comes from. That's where my queer liberation comes from. Like being able to ground, create space, shift, and be visible, like even when I don't feel safe.
I hope you know that like there's this whole community that obviously like loves and support you, because you just exude like so much joy and representation just by being yourself. And I like can't even look at you without like getting teared up, because I've never really met anybody that loves their community this much and has just so much passion, especially for how young you are and how much you've done. So it makes me feel really honored that I get to sit here and talk to you. So like you bring me queer joy.
What brings me queer joy and pride is really thinking about the ways that younger people are talking about LGBTQ rights, particularly in this moment. I think that there was sometimes a belief among people my age, and I'm not that much older than kids in high school, but every year I do get a little bit older. And I think there was this idea of, you know, certain political rights had been won. So for instance, marriage equality, and we can brush our hands, the fight is over. And what will young people even try to fight for? And I think that's a false premise, because we know any political win, there's always backlash. And in this current moment when we're seeing anti-trans healthcare laws, we're seeing book bans, we're seeing rise of queer and trans youth being kicked out of their houses because they're queer and trans, seeing young people, high school students, young college students, organize their political identity around those issues. So the fact that it is high school kids who are kicking out these book banning politicians, right? They're leading the calls. It's high school kids who are showing up to state houses and to their city boards to say, no, our trans friends and our trans colleagues and trans students in our school deserve just the same rights as we do. That's just been really inspiring to see, and to see how they do activism using social media. They have this network of ways that they're using to like talk about these issues, and I think that is bringing me a lot of joy.
Speak to like 600 people.
Yeah, totally. Using I will age myself now. I only am on Instagram, so all of the apps that they use to talk about these things is really inspiring, and it's easy to feel down in this moment, but they're bringing me a lot of joy and hope.
Yeah.
Most of us, right, want to just connect with other people, find ways to connect with others, whether it's, even if sometimes if it's the person I disagree with, like trying to understand and being like, okay, so can you like help me understand your perspective, right? And bringing people along.
Because when you're like consistently like bullied, you're in this like system where all of the like administration that's supposed to help you like knows your story, but you have to tell them every single thing every single time, and it's exhausting, but it was worth it because I'm still here and I get to be talking to people like you about how we got to be here, which is amazing.
What do you wish you learned about LGBTQ people in history in school?
Anything. Literally anything.
Such a good response.